Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you have a marvelous day. I am here to do an intuitive card reading to see what guidance, messages, and insights the universe wants to give us today, especially when it comes to, having a fresh start, doing things differently, opening new doors, creating new habits, new mindsets, new patterns, breaking the old to make room for the new, that kind of thing. So let's take a look at the cards and see what the universe wants us to know. So we have silver, be persistent, and the universe doesn't want us just throw in the towel. Yeah, we may need to readjust, may need to course correct, we may need to be flexible, postpone things, change up how we're doing it, come at it from a different angle, being, open to things instead of having a fixed, closed, rigid mindset and trying to coerce and force things. But the universe doesn't want us to give up. If we feel something in our heart and soul, it's there for a reason. The universe put it there for us. We are meant to do something with it. It's not always going to look like how we envision or come out the way we first, our first idea for it. But we're meant to do more than just exist. We're meant to do more than just survive and go through the motions. So the universe wants you to be persistent with your dreams, with your goals, with your aspirations, with your skills, with your passions, with your hobbies. Keep showing up for yourself. Be persistent, be dedicated, be committed to yourself. Yeah, some days are going to be harder than others. Some days it's all going to seem like it's falling apart and you could be dealing with a whole swath of human emotions that can be overwhelming and feel like tidal waves going to pull you under. Stay the course. Weather the storms. It's not always going to be like that. Brighter days are coming. Literally, the old ways are crumbling and the new is coming in. It's a whole new chapter, and we're going to need to learn and figure things out. The way we used to do things isn't going to work anymore. You can't, open new doors with old keys that are, to the old ways. It needs a different key to unlock it, That's why the universe wants you to be persistent. You're not always going to get it perfect because, we're human beings. We're works in progress, yet also the masterpiece. It's okay. If you make a mistake, if you stumble, if you fall, it's okay. Try again. Try again. It's not always going to be failures. You'll have your victories. You'll have your successes. You'll have all these wonderful things too. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not all storm clouds and, the howling winds. There's going to be sunshine and rainbows too. So be persistent. You've got this. Even though it can be hard, you've got this. Yeah. Brown, establish boundaries. Yeah, boundaries are a must right now. There are so many things vying for our attention and our time and our energy. Whether that be people, places, things, we need to establish boundaries. We need to have healthy boundaries and be willing to enforce them because there are people out there who, they deserve kindness and love and all of that as well, but if they're just going to use you as an energy source and just treat you like a tool and, be awful to you, you don't need to just be pouring out of yourself and let them, drain you dry, You don't need to let them deplete you. You can show them love, kindness, and respect, but also keep your distance. Love them from a distance. Go, a little bit silent. Have space. You don't owe them. You don't need to be their God. You don't need to fix everything for them. Because that's how that toxic group was. They expected me to drop everything for them. And yes, I'm kind and caring and loving and supportive. And I want the best for people. But it shouldn't come at the cost of myself, where I am just depleted and just getting beat up metaphorically by them as their emotional punching bag and all their blackmail and guilt tripping and like gaslighting, all of that. Like, no, you need to have your boundaries, because the life you want is out there. The people who will support you are out there, but you gotta be persistent and have the boundaries, you know? Blue, activate your healing power. And that's the thing, like, we need to start healing ourselves. We need to start going inward. We need to start tending to our emotions, because if we keep neglecting them, if we keep shoving them aside, sidestepping them, sweeping them under the rug, acting like they're not there, they're going to keep building pressure, and it's going to grow into a bigger and bigger problem. You know how, like, let's take, for instance, some chores. You know how, like, let's say the dishes. You know how if you just, like, would take dishes after you use them and just put them in the dishwasher or clean them, like, you know, when there's not so many, it goes a lot faster? Well, that's the same thing with our emotions. If we just keep letting it pile up, sooner or later, it's going to take a lot more time, energy, and effort to tend to them, because you just kept pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off. Because, you know, they'll be, like, the food could get caked on and, like, could be growing stuff, and, like, you just have this mountain of just, that's the thing I don't get about my family, is that they'll let things pile up. Not in a mean way, because I let some things pile up, but not like dishes, not when it can grow things and it takes a lot of scrubbing. It's just, I get we're human and we don't always have the time and energy to deal with things, and so we can, you know, be like, okay, I'll postpone that. But do yourself a favor. Don't push it off too long. Start tending to yourself now. Speaking from experience, because I'm still dealing with the aftermath of the burnout from working all those jobs and, you know, doing what all these people told me. Thinking, oh, they're older than me, they must be wiser than me, they must have my best interest at heart. No, they didn't. They didn't know what they were talking about. They led me down a path that just ended up in burnout and getting used and disregarded and neglected and taken advantage of, all these things. And so, yeah, tend to yourself now. Keep filling up your cup, because if you deplete yourself so thoroughly, it's going to take a lot to get you back to quote-unquote normal, or even semi-normal. So activate your healing power and tend to things now, you know? Because you're worth it. You deserve kindness. You deserve love. You deserve support. You deserve to feel rested and whole and to allow yourself to be human, you know? Yeah. Last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. That's the thing that keeps coming up. It's what I'm witnessing, you know, in the wider world at large, but also in my daily life, and just conversations I'm having with people and observations just from, you know, going about life. We need to work through our feelings. We need to process them. We don't need to, you know, beat ourselves up for feeling certain ways. Like, I can get frustrated and just exhausted when, you know, people are being extra and complaining constantly and being super negative and projecting everything onto me and just screaming at me about how I'm the problem. Like, I can have a human emotion and reaction to that. I can get really drained and not want to be around it. And that's not bad, but that doesn't give me a free pass to, you know, explode on other people. Yeah, call it out or walk away or whatever, but it's like, we need to work through our feelings so that we don't have all these blind triggered reactions where emotions are running so high that we end up, you know, doing and saying things we didn't actually mean and end up regretting. We can end up shooting ourselves in the foot by doing stuff like that, which is why the universe is like, hey, get in tune with yourself. Hey, go inward. Hey, process your emotions. Hey, do the inner work. Hey, choose to heal. Choose to process. Choose to feel. Because, yeah, it can suck. It can suck feeling some of these really, really intense emotions. Been there, done that. Like today, I didn't get that much sleep. I was having trouble sleeping. And so I'm just like, I'm tired. And I'm like, you know what? It sucks, but let's make the most of it. Let's work through my feelings. Let's take things slower and make the best of what we got. And I'll be able to rest. I'll be able to get more sleep, so I can sleep in some tomorrow. So it's going to be okay. I'm allowed to feel tired. I'm allowed to be frustrated that I didn't get the most sleep. Not that I'm feeling too frustrated right now, but it's valid to feel that way. But you don't want to stay stuck in it. You don't want the energy, the emotions to be stuck in your body and allow it to fester and just get fixated and obsessed over it and just have it on loop, like a broken record, all this negative narratives. You don't want that. It doesn't serve you. It diminishes you. It depletes you. It makes you curl in on yourself and your energy just goes so down. And you're allowed to have the negative emotions. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you stay fixated, you need to let it flow. You need to release it. Emotions are energy in motion. They're supposed to be allowed to feel, to flow, to process. So this is why the universe is saying, hey, process them, work through them. You don't want them stuck in your body because that's what causes a lot of our health issues, whether mental, emotional, physical. It's all energy. It's all energy. So your mental, emotional, spiritual state can impact your physical body and its health, your well-being. And when you're not at ease, and you have all these turbulent emotions and you're fixating on the negative and you're complaining all the time and all these things, it allows it to fester, and the unease is what causes disease. It's dis-ease. You don't have the ease, you don't have the flow, And this is why the universe is like, hey, work through these. Hey, process these. You don't want to keep letting them build up to the point where the pressure explodes and you have all these health complications. Start tending to it earlier on. Don't let it, build up. And then you look and you're like, I have a whole mountain. How am I ever going to get this done? And this is why the universe is like, hey, do little steps. Start working on it now before it gets so out of hand. And, you can do it by working little by little. It's just easier to start doing it sooner rather than later, Yeah. Lemon and Cancer, relax. The universe wants us to take a chill pill. It wants us to remember to breathe. It wants us to calm down. We can feel whatever we need to feel. Allow ourselves to process, to go with the flow, to be more open, allowing, to stop being so rigid and controlling and trying to force things. It's just going to backfire on us. It happened with someone I know. They have so many health problems because they're so fixated and obsessive and trying to force and control and coerce things. And it's like, hey, you might want to ease up a little bit. You might want to relax a little bit, flow a little bit more, because you're really being like the trees in storms. You're being so rigid that you're going to end up breaking. Be a little more flexible and adaptable like bamboo, and you'll weather the storms okay. Doesn't necessarily mean it's easy or that it's enjoyable, but it'll be easier on your body. And they blew up on me. And it's just like, of course I'm going to be controlling. It's my livelihood. And there's blowing up on me. It's like, okay, that's your choice, but the universe is really asking for you to calm down, to chill out, to allow to flow, to relax, to breathe. But if you don't want to, that's your choice. The universe allows free will. But it'd be easier if we could work with the universe instead of working against it, To relax, to go with the flow, to go downstream instead of, paddling upstream and trying to force things. Yeah. Full moon in Gemini. Embrace the flow of life. That's the thing. The universe wants us to flow. It wants things to ease more, to relax, to process, to flow, to be, to not get so caught up in the negative narratives, the limiting beliefs, projecting, into the future and be like, what's going to happen? Or getting caught up in the past. It's Be more present. Flow with life. Yeah, some days are going to be harder than others. Yeah, some days you're going to be more tired than others. Yeah, some days emotions are going to be more turbulent. Some days the external world is going to be more turbulent. Whatever it is, just try to embrace the flow. Try to allow what is and to make the most of it. We can't do anything about the cards we're dealt. We're dealt what we're dealt, okay? Sometimes that really, really sucks. It really does. Like, I look at my family and I'm like, where's the loving family that's supportive and kind and respectful and like has healthier dynamics? Like, why was I cheated? Why was I supposed to be the adult all the time? Like, I was just a kid and like I'm still having to parent my parents. I'm like, what is this? Like, it doesn't feel fair, but at the same time it's just like it's what I was dealt. So I can complain about it like my family does about how they complain about everything. Oh my goodness. So negative. And it's like I genuinely get why people want to complain and how they feel justified in all these things, but it's like if we stay fixated in that all the time, what is that doing us? How is that helping us? Yes, complain in the form of venting and ranting to get it off your chest and out of your system so you can process it, allow it to flow, but don't just keep circling back to it a time and time and time and time again. And there's a difference also between, stating what happened and having this intense emotional charge behind it and, making yourself a victim, because what happened with the toxic group and the narcissist, I would, be going inward and reflecting and be like, okay, why is this happening? Why am I doing things this way? Why am I viewing it this way? And like people would ask me and then I would explain them like, oh, I see why this is because, my family is this way and they did this to me. And so, yeah, that impacted my, perspective and beliefs about myself. And like, okay, so that's that. And like, it got to the point where the narcissist started screaming at me about how I need to stop telling these narratives and like it's not helping anything. I was like, I'm piecing together puzzle pieces and explaining, and I'm not trying to be like, woe is me, I'm the victim. I'm just like, oh, this is why I'm connecting dots, because like I knew a lot of this stuff already, but I didn't, piece it all together. I didn't connect it. I didn't see how all the threads were woven together. And so, yeah, like there's a difference between, acknowledging what is and being like, okay, so this happened and this happened, this and that, and having that negative charge and just, woe is me, I'm a victim, everything sucks, complain. Like there's a difference, okay? So you're allowed to share your story. That's not bad. That's not you making yourself the victim. But it's also the energy and the mindset and the perspective you're bringing with it, if that makes sense. Last quarter moon in Sagittarius, practice gratitude. Yeah, that's the thing. We need to, like for our own benefit, look for silver linings, look for the bright side, look for reasons to be grateful and appreciative, because if we end up going through the patterns and cycles like my family, I have watched them my whole life, and it's not like they don't know anything, it's not like they're the worst people ever and they're monsters, but they keep tripping themselves up and going down the same unhealthy, dysfunctional, negative cycles and behaviors, and they don't practice gratitude, they look for the bad. And as Uncle Ira says, if you look for the light, you can often find it, but if you look for the dark, that's all you'll ever see. And there are some really bad things out there, like there's super hard times, like natural disasters, war, people, going around with all the hate and division and violence, like all these things. I'm not saying those aren't there. I'm not saying to, bury your head in the sand and be like, everything's great, good vibes only, rainbows and puppies and sunshine. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But where are you putting your focus? Where are you putting your focus? Are you practicing gratitude? Are you looking for the good in your life? Are you looking for things that you enjoy, that you like light you up inside, even if they're little things, even if it's just, a bird flying by and singing a beautiful song, or the feel of the sun on your skin, or just having a roof over your head, or, hearing your favorite song, whatever it is. Just practice some gratitude, because it's going to shift your reality. It's going to open up all these doors for you, because we can't change what is. We're our past. Like, I've been through a lot, like, literally, like, there were so many times where I just didn't want to be here anymore, because it just kept piling up time and time again. And it's just like, I would trust and I would put myself out there and I would be vulnerable with people, and I would, see the good potential good in them and all that they could be. And they just choose, to take advantage of me, think that I'm weak, think that I'm just some tool to use and toss out, to just use me like a doormat and throw mud, like all these things. And they'd lie to me, deceive me, manipulate me, all these things, gaslight me, invalidate me, all these horrible things. And I get it. I get why people don't want to trust other people. I get why people want to wall off their heart and protect themselves and to not let people in. I get why people are sad and heartbroken and disillusioned and all these things. Like, I get it. I have been there. Like, most people in my life have done me dirty. Like, I get it. Truly. But I still want to look for the good, because I know not everybody's like that. I know that life is meant to be more than just hardship and suffering and pain and being betrayed and being like wronged and unjust. Like, there's more to life than that. It's not meant to be so dark. It's not meant to just be suffering and misery. And gratitude really helps us. Like, I don't know if I would have made it, like, especially as a kid, having our pet cat was a saving grace. Like, if nothing else, I was like, I'm grateful for her, and I know she loves me, and she would be devastated if I was gone. So if nothing else, amongst all my family's nastiness and their gaslighting and their pointing fingers and scapegoating and invalidating and all the nastiness and, screaming at me about how I'm ruining things and I'm a problem and all these things, like, in spite of it all, I'm like, at least there's one living creature. Because, man, I couldn't tell you how many times I cried myself to sleep. I couldn't tell you. So I'm grateful in the sense that all these experiences have made me a more compassionate person. It helps me understand other people, even if I haven't gone through their exact experience. I have been through the thick of it. I have been amongst the turbulent storms. I have been in all the pain and suffering and misery and the darkness, and have people be so cruel to me. Like, I get it. I know what it's like to feel alone, like everyone's against you. I've been there. And so, as dark as it is, as painful as it is, at the same time, it helps me appreciate all the lovely souls out there, all the people showing kindness and love and respect and peace and joy and just like being a beacon of light. It makes me all the more grateful for it, Life can be really hard, but if we can be more grateful, it helps so much. So very much. Yeah. The universe wants you to know happiness is your birthright. It's your birthright. You are meant to thrive. You are meant to shine. You are meant to be happy. That doesn't mean you need to be happy every second of your life, and if you're not, then you're failing. That's not what it is, but you are meant to have a life that you enjoy. You're not meant to just have a life of pure suffering. You're not. The universe wants you to know that. You're meant for so much more, which is why the universe is wanting you to heal, to work through your feelings, to have boundaries, to keep going and go with the flow, because you'll get there. But if you decide to like cling on and remain fixated and stuck, like, you're not going to be able to get there. Yeah, energy flows where my intention goes. What is it you're giving your time, energy, and attention? because that's going to grow. It's going to build stronger. It's going to gain momentum. You're going to manifest more of that in your life. The energy you put out into the world comes back to you, which is why the universe is wanting you to relax, to flow, to practice gratitude, to work through your feelings, to be persistent, and to know happiness is your birthright. Because when you put that kind of energy out there, that you're doing the healing work, that you are prioritizing yourself, you're prioritizing your peace of mind, your well-being, your happiness, you're creating a life where you can thrive, where you fill up your cup, you're not letting everyone deplete you. That's going to come back to you. When you're treating other people with kindness, respect, common decency, peace, love, joy, like when you put that out, it comes back to you. So keep that in mind. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's hard, but it's going to be okay. Vulture. Accept the inevitable. Let go of the past and welcome a rebirth to begin. You gotta let go of the past. Like, for me, for instance, like, I gotta let go that my family was not supportive. It was not kind. It was not loving. It did not build me up. It just was constantly tearing me down. It was constantly scapegoating me, making me, the quote-unquote problem that's ruining everything. I was the one that just ruins everything, black sheep scapegoat, gaslight me, like, all I want is peace and love and just supportive people. And so it's like, you look at my family, so many of my former friends, quote unquote, they were fake friends who were just using me, toxic bosses and co-workers, that toxic group, like so many people, and it hurts. But if I stay fixated in that, I'm never going to find the new people that will become that family, the supportive people, the loving, warm people who are just coming from a place of empathy and kindness and love and respect and common decency and honesty and integrity and accountability. Like, if I stay fixated on all these people who weren't that, I won't be able to let it in. Because, again, what you give your time, energy, and attention to will grow. It will build momentum, and it will become your reality. The energy you put out comes back to you. So if I stay fixated on all the problems, everything that I don't want, it's going to keep showing up. So we got to let it go. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it wasn't right. Yeah, we deserve better. But we don't need to keep fixating on it. We can open up and release for the new to come in. Pelican. Choose to follow the path of forgiveness and raise your vibration. Yeah. And forgiveness will set you free. That doesn't mean you give people a free pass for what they did. That doesn't mean, they get to come back into your life and keep doing it over and over and over again. You could have strong, healthy boundaries and say, no, I'm cutting ties with you, but I forgive you and I send you love. I wish you the best. Like, set yourself free, because hatred and bitterness and resentment and vengeance and all that, when you carry that in your heart, when you fixate it on and obsess over it and just let it fester, it's poisoning you. It's lowering your energy, your frequency, your vibration, and the universe wants you to be happy. But if you're fixated on this negativity of vengeance and, anger and bitterness and hatred and all these things, where's the room for happiness, which is your birthright? Where's the room? It's being occupied by everything else, by all this negativity, which is why the universe is saying, hey, you need to let it go and forgive. Doesn't mean you give them a free pass. Doesn't mean you keep letting them back in, but you need to let it go. Ostrich. The choice is clear for you now. Follow the wisdom and truth you feel in your heart. Yeah. Which is why the universe is saying, hey, relax. Go with the flow. Work through your feelings. Tap into that healing. Have the boundaries. Be persistent. Practice gratitude. Know that happiness is your birthright, because you can create this better life for yourself. You can open up the door to new possibilities. You can turn the page to a new chapter full of peace and joy and love and success and thriving. But you got to stay true to yourself. You got to listen to your heart and soul, because they know the way. They know the way. Yeah, meadowlark, smile. You will soon experience a wonderful journey of inner discovery. This is why the universe is saying go inward. Work through your feelings. Activate your healing power. Establish boundaries. Go with the flow. Practice gratitude. Because the inner is going to be reflected back to you in the external world. They mirror each other. So deal with the internal chaos, the internal turmoil, the internal dysfunction, the internal hurt, so that you can have a more peaceful, happy, loving, thriving external. As above, so below, as within, so without, Yeah, we really need to release. Let go of old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve your highest good. Embrace freedom in your life. Yeah. The universe says it's time to let go. It's time to move on to bigger and better things. You are meant for more. Happiness is your birthright. So let go to bring it in. Yeah, take a step. Let go of old beliefs. Again, the universe is really driving that home. Let go of old beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you. Prepare to step out of your comfort zone in order to grow and expand. Yeah. We are evolving. We're leaving behind the state of the caterpillar and becoming the butterfly. We're going to be happy. We're going to be able to thrive. We're going to be able to have healthy relationships. Yeah, we're still going to be learning, growing, and improving. Yeah, we're still the work in progress, but we're also the masterpiece, and we can heal. We can create the life we love, the life of our dreams, where we can thrive, Confidence. Things are moving, and you need to make a decision. Act with confidence and take risks. Yeah, don't stay in your comfort zone. Don't stay in the known. Don't stay in your habits, because if you don't have your dream life now, how do you think you're going to have it by keep doing the same things? What's the saying? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting different results. Yeah, you need to do things differently. You need to do things differently. You need to let go of the old to make room for the new. We got to release, and we got to take chances. We got to open up those new doors. Yep. Frog spirit, clear out the clutter. The universe is saying, hey, it's time to release. It's time to purge. It's time to let go. Make room for the new. Make room for the new. Yeah. Brown bear spirit, take time out. Take time out for yourself. Fill up your cup. Process. Go inward. Meditate. Journal. Do therapy if you need it. Go on a vacation. Even if it's a staycation. Take time to take care of you. Take time to tend to your inner world. Take time to process and tend to your emotions, because that is going to help you. It's going to help you clear the clutter. It's going to help you get in alignment. It's going to help you relax. It's going to help you figure out what boundaries you need to have. It's going to help you figure out what you need to let go, what new chances and, opportunities that you need to take. Even if you don't have all the answers, even if you're still figuring it out, even if you don't have all the skills and resources, we need to do things differently. We can't keep doing it the same old, same old. Got to do it differently. We have clouds, temporary problems. Yeah, the universe wants you to know it's temporary. Allow yourself to process through. Allow yourself to flow. Allow yourself to be. Because it's not always going to be this way. It's not always going to be this hard. It's not always going to be you surrounded by toxic people. You in a job that you can't stand. It's not always going to be like that. You need to open up and allow the change. Allow the clouds to roll across the sky and clear out. The sun will shine again. It's okay. The storm will pass. Be persistent, because it's not always going to be that way. You're going to have brighter days ahead. Carrot, opportunity or windfall. And this opportunity or windfall all comes down to what we choose. How we choose to show up in the world. What narratives we choose to tell ourselves. What perspective we choose to take. What we choose to focus on. Who, what, when, where, why we choose to associate with what we do. It could be people, places, things. our habits, the things we listen to, the content we watch. Like, it's all connected. It's all the little things will add up to set us up for success or to set us up to go through the same cycles and patterns, the same struggles. And we will reap what we sow. That's what the universe is wanting you to know. But we have luck on our side. The universe is blessing us. It's working magic and miracles on our behalf. 4-leaf clover, great good fortune. And it's because you're doing the inner work. It's because you're choosing to show up for yourself. It's because you're choosing to relax, to breathe, to process, to heal, to grow, to flow, to be grateful, to know that happiness is your birthright. And it's going to open up all these new doors. It's going to open up this bright new chapter. Yeah, bridge. You're successfully overcoming your problems. It's because you're working through your feelings. You're recognizing how your internal state can be mirrored back to you in the external. So it really does matter to tend to your internal world. You don't want to focus purely on the external, because that's what society wants us to do. It wants us to get so caught up in everything going on in the external that we neglect or are oblivious to the internal. But the internal is super powerful. Yeah. And we're working towards our happiness. But it takes steps. You have to cross that bridge, you know? You have to go from the old you to the new you. But happiness is your birthright. So relax, breathe, go with the flow. It's going to be okay. Practice some gratitude. Because you're a star. You're meant to shine bright, and you're guaranteed success. Which is why the universe is saying, hey, go with the flow. It doesn't have to be so hard. You can work with me. We can co-create together. It doesn't have to be all on you. You don't have to do it all on your own. And yeah, because the universe is working magic and miracles on your behalf, because it's blessing you, a sincere wish will be granted, needle and thread. It's because you're doing the inner work, that you're preparing yourself. You are preparing to receive, to allow, and the universe knows it can trust you with it, that it's not going to fall through your fingers, because so often we're either having our blinders on that we can't see the blessings, can't see the opportunities, or we didn't prepare, we didn't set ourselves up to succeed, and so it falls through our fingers. Because I feel like that's what happened with the toxic group and the narcissist. I feel like the universe was trying to let them know that they could have loving, kind, respectful people in their life that prioritize peace, but they keep cycling back on the same old toxic patterns and cycles and behaviors. They keep lashing out, they keep projecting, they keep pointing fingers, they keep scapegoating, all these things. And so it's just like, you're choosing to stay in the old. You're not going to be able to have the life where you can thrive. You're not going to have your wishes granted because you're getting too caught up in the past. You're not allowing the now. But it is what it is, you know? And when we have these blessings come in, when the universe works its magic and miracles, when we have our wishes granted, the universe is really saying, hey, remember to practice gratitude. Be grateful for anything, whether big or small, that is bringing you joy, bringing you peace, that is building you up, because the universe will literally use anything and everything for our benefit. But yeah, it's a lot. Like, I'm going through it with you guys. It's so much to process, so many things going on. But the universe wants us to know that we're going to be okay. Just keep moving forward. Keep, moving forward step by step, taking things one thing at a time. If we have to go slower, if we have to crawl, if we have to rest, like, that's okay. Just keep showing up for yourself. Keep doing the work. Be persistent. Be dedicated to yourself. Be committed to yourself. Because that's how your best life is going to come. It's by showing up for yourself and filling up your cup and being kind to yourself. Showing some extra love and gentleness for yourself. So please have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you take care. Reach out to me if you ever need a listening ear. And I'm sending you so much love. I'll see you next time. Bye.